Hello and welcome. Thank you for attending today for an exciting announcement. My name is Barry McKnight, and this is my 19th year as serving as the voice of the Trojans. I was there in Demarcus's 2 Sun Belt Conference, all-conference years. It's an exciting day here in the state of Alabama and at Troy University. Troy has always taken seriously its responsibility of preparing its students for the world, and one of the happy byproducts of that responsibility is we also at Troy University get to share in the successes. One of the most compelling success stories at Troy has been that of Demarcus Ware, and he joins us again today to share another special announcement. Many of you know, of course, 2-time All-Sun Belt Conference, Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year, 9-time NFL Pro Bowler, the all-time sacks leader in Dallas Cowboys history, Super Bowl champion, 2-time NFL sacks leader, and on the NFL All-Decade team. And his success has gladdened every one of our hearts in pride, not only in him, but also in the person that he is as well. As we move forward, first of all, to issue a welcome, I'd like to introduce the Chancellor at Troy University, Dr. Jack Hawkins.
Thank you, Barry, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you for that melodious voice that has announced for us for 19 years. We're very, very proud of you and the way you present this university to the public. Before I extend a welcome, let me to Demarcus, but let me welcome a friend of mine who's our honors convocation speaker tonight, and I can think of no more appropriate person to speak at an honors convocation than a man that has honored the state of Alabama and Georgia, and he is the president of Tallulah Falls Prep School over in Georgia, after a distinguished career in the military and a distinguished career in higher education. And we're fortunate that Dr. Larry Peavy and his wife Dinah are with us, and Dinah is accomplished in her own right as a national champion in equestrian arts. So would you please welcome Larry and Dinah Peavy. Thank you. Brent, thank you too for your leadership in our Department of Athletics. As Barry mentioned, we have great alumni in every clime and place around the globe, on every hemisphere. And one of those great alumni I see sitting in the audience today is our own Jason Reeves, the mayor of Troy, who was himself an SGA president. So before I say anything else, please welcome our illustrious mayor, Jason Reeves. You know, of all the alumni that we know, of that 165,000, though, one of the most famous, obviously, is Demarcus Ware. It was C.S. Lewis who said that humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. You know, Demarcus is the same young man that, he's a little older now, but he's the same person that came to us out of Auburn High School and had that great career that Barry just talked about. And we're so proud of him for what he's been able to achieve, not only on the field, which is remarkable in itself, but for him to come back as an entrepreneur after a distinguished career in football is really a reflection of a lot of influence. And it begins with his mother. And it was his mother who he promised he would finish that degree. And she gave him no option. And so I remember very well in that spring of 2005 when he was driving back and forth to Birmingham and still trying to finish that coursework. He was going to do that, or his mom was not going to let him out of her sight. I can promise you, he loved and respects her to that extent. And so he was going to do what he promised her he was going to do, and that was to finish that degree. Well, it was in the spring of 2005, and I told this story a few years ago. You know, today is reflective of the Demarcus Ware Day in Alabama. first proclaimed by Governor Bentley in 2016. And so that means for 6 years we have celebrated this occasion. Now 21 less 16 is 5, but we've celebrated on 6 different occasions the Demarcus Ware Day. And it took place in the Alabama legislature and with the governor. And so this is a very, very special day for all of us. But it was in the spring of 2005 when Demarcus was going to one of the combines. And I was going somewhere, but our paths intersected at the airport over in Atlanta, and we had an hour or two just sitting there talking. And I asked Demarcus, not knowing that he was going to be a first-round draft pick, but 2, knowing he was a good student, I said, what do you plan to do when you grow up and not play this game anymore? Which he almost proved me wrong. He played so long. And he said, well, I want to teach computer science in college. And I said, well, that's an honorable thing to do. 3 or 4 years later, as they were closing out the old Dallas Stadium, we were doing some television spots to feature our successful alumni. And of course, Demarcus was part of that group that promoted Troy University. And we had a lull in the action, and I thought I would check him out again. I said, Demarcus, what do you plan to do when you can't play this game anymore, when you have to grow up? And he looked at me and he said, well, I'll give you the same answer that I gave you the last time you asked me that question. He remembered it. He said, I still plan to do that. Well, today it was, it's like an ocean voyage. You keep your destination in sight, but sometimes you have to shift. I think today represents one of those shifting patterns, but it was driven by his degree in computer science, his love of technology, but is also his commitment to great fitness. That's the foundation of this app, and that's the foundation of Demarcus Ware. We are excited by the announcement that Demarcus is here to make. We're excited even more by the partnership that this remarkable man has asked us to enter. And it's with great honor that we do that, and it's with great pride that we welcome our Demarcus Ware home again. Thank you.
I'm just kidding. But this is the 5th annual Subtracting COVID Demarcus Ware Day in Alabama, and also down here in Troy. And just like Dr. Jack Hawkins said, I wanted to come back, I wanted to teach computer science, but that took a little railroad, little detour, and played 12 years in the NFL. But now I got an opportunity to use that platform, and just like Jack Hawkins just said, put yourself second to make somebody else feel first to create monumental change. And that's why I'm here right now. And so after 51 injuries later and being retired, I was working on this app for 3 years now. And I learned how to create 3D models. I learned how to create motion capture, augmented reality, but also how to make the phone learn like a personal trainer. So it's almost a real personal trainer in your pocket. But I wanted to take it to the next level, not give something, I want to give something back to Troy. So with us really trying to package everything up together on this day, it's almost like, to me, I always like, hey, how can we raise money for the school that helped me out so much? And so now being able to give this app to the Troy faculty, staff, alumni, getting it out there, and so people can actually see all of this hard work. It's not just something that, oh, okay, cool, I'm just going to record some videos and do that. No, 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 no. This is years of training, years of getting myself out of injury, but also now giving that back to everybody so they can use it. And then we said, well, and how can we bring something back to Troy? And so we're actually bringing back the official 94 jersey back to Troy. We're going to put that on the online bookstore, inside of the bookstore, and some of those proceeds are going to be going back to Troy. The same thing with the proceeds of the app is going to be going back to Troy So now when I come back, I can see so many different changes that I see here. I go and look at Deal Hall, it's torn down, it's different. I look at Alumni Hall, the roaches are gone, okay? And so it's just amazing to see so much change around here. And also the hill where we used to score touchdowns at and just, fall into the mud. Probably that famous play by Skip, call him Skip, play wide receiver, that's gone. So now you're starting to see all of the things and the people that are coming together. It feels like family to me, so I don't even have to prepare a speech. I got my speech right here in my pocket. I'm not even looking at it. I really don't even care because everybody's family here, and that's what I feel like when I come here. So going forward, we're going to send out an emailer, whatever we want to do to get that app in everybody's pockets, right? Get those proceeds back so we can keep everything flowing, but also get those Demarcus Ware jerseys out there. I hadn't seen a 94 around here recently in a long time. So we're going to get that going too as well. And I just want to say thank you guys. I know there are some questions. Just thank everybody for just coming out today on Demarcus Ware Day. But I would say this is Troy Day. It's not about me. This is about Troy. How can we help Troy? How can we create change? Because change is growth. And we've been doing that for a very long time, and we want to keep doing it all together. So thank you.
Now to extend a welcome from the athletics department at Troy University, Troy's Director of Athletics, Mr. Brent Jones.
First off, I should have known better to follow these two great orators and speakers as part of this. But this is a great partnership that's made possible by both of these men. Chancellor Hawkins, about 3 months ago, came across this and asked for me to be the lead of this, and I thank you for doing that. Because if not, I'm not sure many other universities would be able to take a chance to be able to partner with one of our great alums. And so that's what I think makes Troy University different. Also, in today's society, especially with NCA, and things are changing, especially with the name, image, and likeness, that we're able to show this is what Troy University students, this is what Troy University student athletes can be. Not only can you go pro in the NFL or the LPGA or softball, baseball, countless, but you can also be a titan in the industry. And that's what Demarcus Ware represents as part of this. So thank you so much for being able to come back. And Chancellor Hawkins, thank you for having the vision for our athletic department. We talk about these amazing facilities. We talk about being competitive. We talk about winning. That would not happen if we were not aligned at the top as part of this. And so I think this is a huge day because this symbolizes the growth of Troy University from a student athlete to now an entrepreneur. And hopefully within 1 year, our first Troy University NFL Hall of Famer. That's what we hope so. One of the things that was the most exciting in getting to know Randy and working with his entire team is this isn't something that Demarcus has really outsourced or farmed out to anybody. He's intricately involved. And this goes back to his education that Chancellor Hawkins talked about and his knowledge in wanting to make a difference as part of this. And so we're very, very excited to be able to launch this. But one of the things that was crucial in this partnership was, and Demarcus really came up with this, he wants to be a brand ambassador for Troy University. He wants to be a brand ambassador for our football program. He wants to be able to make a difference, to be able to have these jerseys, to be able to have this app, with the proceeds going back to Troy University athletics is simply outstanding. You don't see a lot of former NFL, Major League Baseball, basketball that come back and want to make a difference, and so we greatly appreciate that as part of this. I would say this, as I end this, this is an exciting day, and I think this represents the power of what Troy University could do. We're going into a new age, a new era with NCA, with the one-time transfer rule, as well as with the name, image, and likeness. And I think the power of Troy University is now on display where you can take, whether it be the Ideation Bank, whether you can take partners in the Sorrell College of Business, but our student athletes can become entrepreneurs just like Demarcus Ware. And I think that's what sets up under Chancellor Hawkins' leadership. That's what sets Troy University and Troy University athletics apart. So I applaud both of y'all. Thank you.